So how is it that you came to be a member of this family?
Well, I was originally a member of the Bullara Cricket Club, and this was about 25 years ago. And I was part of their kit, I suppose, for the Bullara Cricket Club. But unfortunately, I kept getting left out of the kit. And there was one day they just left me outside, and this young, promising cricketer picked me up, took me home.
So you actually went from being a part of a local cricket club used in the nets and on game day to a more domestic environment where it was cricket with the tennis ball.
Yeah.
And in the backyard.
Yeah, and he had a very young family as well at that time. He left me on the veranda, and which I was happy with because got a great view. And but he would come home from work, and certainly some of his boys there we'd play cricket on the grass out the front of the house. It was good too because I didn't have to be used. Didn't have a cricket ball. They had a tennis ball, so I felt very comfortable with that.
Let's move to the day of the fire that came through this area. Where were you? Just describe that day for a start. Describe what it was like from the morning. Yeah,
well, it was just a damn hot day. Probably by about 1 o'clock, it was about 45 degrees, and the family actually had left just before that. They had made their decision to leave, which was taking all things into consideration, was probably the best decision they ever made.
But they left you behind, though?
They did, and I was probably a bit disappointed about that. But then there was, I had to make some fairly quick decisions. They grabbed a few things. Probably felt, gee, it would have been nice to be picked up and put in the boot. Would have been happy with that, but So
just on that, I mean, you probably would have had a good view from the barbecue. You would have been able to see the family coming in and out of the door, down the veranda, into putting things in the car. What was the mood like for the family?
Well, everyone was certainly worried. There's no doubt about that. And wasn't sure what was going to happen. And that young bloody batsman, who's a little bit older now, he stayed around a bit longer. He had to go and make sure that everything was right around the house and seeing if there was an opportunity that they could stay, and that was the whole thing, is you just didn't know what was going to happen. But we knew that once, talking 45 degrees, northerlies, and after hearing that there was no way that the fire agencies were actually going to come up to this road, that was probably the decision was made that it was time for him to move on.
You were left here. What happened as the fire came over the hill?
Oh well, that was probably the most scariest thing I've ever gone through in my whole life. That the fire just basically came down this hill, which was quite amazing, coming down the hill. Other houses caught on fire, and a house just basically went up in smoke. It was the heat was so intense. It was just incredible. There's no way anyone would have survived, and I'm glad the family did get out. I know we, as in myself and the pooper scooper, we were sitting on the side of or leaning up to the barbecue, so we're actually well protected there. And but yeah, it was a frightening time, absolutely frightening.
And you sustained some injuries on the day?
Yeah, I've got some scarring there, not just mentally, but physical scarring from the heat itself. And yeah, but I'm in good nick now, and it's good to be home.
Yeah, so tell me about home now, because home's a new home. It's been rebuilt.
Yeah, well, the family took me around after the fires. They actually came the next day, and they found me and the pooper scooper, which was just amazing. So we were very happy to unite with the family again. But they had to move on and find another place to live. They had nothing except That was the main thing. They had their family, which is great, and I was part of it again. So they actually took me to 3 houses over the last couple of years, and been kept inside, which is nice for a change, instead of sitting on a veranda. So kept fairly warm and fairly comfortable, but I actually haven't been used as a cricket bat for a long time. But now we're back in the same place again. They've rebuilt, and they've actually found a spot for me already in a nice little corner. So I'm actually looking forward to for the weather to get better and hopefully be able to get outside and have a hit.